Ace Frehley, born Paul Daniel Frehley, was an iconic American guitarist best known as the original lead guitarist and spaceman of the rock band Kiss. He helped catapult Kiss to fame in the 1970s with his flaming guitar solos and signature silver spaceman makeup, and later enjoyed a successful solo career. His 1978 self-titled album spawned the hit New York Groove. In this video, we'll dive deep into Ace's extraordinary life, from his humble Bronx beginnings to rock stardom, and finally his peaceful passing on October 16, 2025. Along the way, we'll explore his early family life, rise to fame, personal passions and challenges, and the legacy he left behind. If you enjoy this documentary, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you never miss our future videos on rock legends. Before we continue, remember to like, share, and comment below with your favorite Ace Frehley song or memory. Now, let's begin Ace's story at the very start. Early life and family. Ace Frehley was born Paul Daniel Frehley on April 27, 1951, in the Bronx, New York, the youngest of 3 children. His parents were Esther, née Hecht, and Carl Frehley. Carl was an electrical engineer by profession and a church organist by passion, and Esther was a devoted homemaker. Music ran in the family. Ace's father and mother both played piano, and his older brother, Charles, was a classical guitarist. His sister, Nancy, who later took the married name Salvner, also played piano. This musical environment had a profound influence on young Paul. He received his first electric guitar as a Christmas gift in 1964 at age 13, and quickly became obsessed with learning to play it by ear. Growing up in a working-class Bronx neighborhood, on Marion Avenue near Bedford Park Boulevard, Paul attended the Grace Lutheran School and showed early talent in the arts. He even excelled in his high school art classes. However, his teenage years were marked by rebellion as well. He was kicked out of 2 high schools, including DeWitt Clinton High School and later Roosevelt High School, and eventually dropped out of a 3rd before earning a diploma. During this turbulent time, he got into trouble with local street gangs, but he famously credited music and playing guitar with saving his life and keeping him on the right path. It was also in high school that Paul earned his lifelong nickname Ace. Friends noticed how adept he was at winning dates for himself and for others. Always an ace at the game of romance, and the name stuck. Paul Frehley became Ace Frehley. He embraced it as part of his larger-than-life persona. Throughout his youth, Ace listened to rock and blues legends like Jimi Hendrix, B.B. King, Buddy Guy, Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, and The Who. In fact, after seeing Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels in concert as a teenager, with The Who opening, Ace decided on the spot that he wanted to be a rock star. From then on, he practiced guitar relentlessly and began playing in local bar bands. Breakthrough with Kiss. In early 1973, Ace Frehley auditioned in New York City for a new band that would become Kiss. Gene Simmons, bass, and Paul Stanley, rhythm guitar/vocals, had already hired drummer Peter Criss and were looking for a lead guitarist with flash and balls. Ace walked into the audition wearing mismatched sneakers, one orange, one red, and proceeded to blow everyone away with a fiery guitar solo on the song Deuce. His playing was so impressive that Gene and Paul immediately knew they had found their guitarist. A week later, Ace officially joined, completing the lineup of Kiss. Legend has it that Ace also designed Kiss's lightning bolt logo from his graphic art skills. It was later refined by Paul, but either way the symbol became one of rock's most recognizable logos. From the very start, Ace's stage presence and guitar work stood out. He created this spaceman persona for himself, a silver-faced astronaut-like character. His inspiration for the spaceman makeup and costume came from his love of science fiction, computers, and space exploration, interests he held throughout his life. On stage, Ace would ride a jetpack, blast off rockets, play a smoking Les Paul guitar, and shoot fireworks from it. These thrilling special effects were the signature of his performances. Kiss's first album, Kiss, 1974, featured Ace's first songwriting contribution, the hard rock classic Cold Gin. Though Ace was shy about singing it, so Gene Simmons sang the lead vocals. On the second album, Hotter Than Hell, 1974, Ace penned 2 tracks, Parasite and Strange Ways, though again he let his bandmates sing them. It wasn't until the 1975 album Dress to Kill that Ace had his own lead vocal. He co-wrote and sang the intro to Rock Bottom. Later in 1970's IXS Destroyer and 1977's Rock and Roll Over, he really came into his own, contributing the songs King of the Nighttime World, Hooligan, Tomorrow and Tonight, and most famously Shock Me, on the 1977 Love Gun album, a song inspired by an actual onstage electrical accident. Shock Me became Ace's first official hit as Kiss's lead singer, and the audience loved watching the spaceman shiver and power up the Les Paul during the guitar solo. Solo career and later projects. In late 1978, Kiss surprised the world by having each member release a solo album. Ace Frehley's solo LP, Ace Frehley, was the most successful of the four. It featured his signature song, New York Groove, a cover with a catchy hook that shot into the top 20 on the charts. This album went platinum and showed that Ace could shine outside of the band. He played most of the instruments himself, drums and bass on some tracks, and even co-produced it. The success of New York Groove made Ace a recognizable name beyond the Kiss fan base. After leaving Kiss in 1982, citing creative differences and exhaustion, Ace took some time off. By 1984, he returned to music with Frehley's Comet, a new band fronted by him. Their self-titled debut album, 1987, featured a melodic rock sound and another hit for Ace, Into the Night, which cracked the Billboard Hot 100. The follow-up album's second sighting, 1988, included the well-known song We Got Your Rock, with lyrics by Paul Stanley. In 1989, he released Trouble Walkin', his first album credited simply to Ace Frehley again. Songs like Stranger in a Strange Land and the title track became favorites on rock radio. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Ace continued releasing music and touring, though often battling health and financial issues. He even reunited briefly with his old Kiss bandmates in 1995 to 96. The original lineup, Ace, Gene, Paul, Peter, got back together for the hugely successful Kiss Alive/Worldwide Reunion Tour in 1996 to 97. Ace designed updated stage effects and portrayed the Space Ace on stage during the reunion. This tour re-energized his career and reminded fans of his importance to the band. After the reunion, Ace remained somewhat estranged from Kiss, but made occasional appearances. He performed with Kiss at major events such as the 1999 MTV Video Music Awards and rock specials. In 2014, Ace and the original Kiss lineup were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, cementing their legacy. For the induction, Ace made a special speech, calling Gene Simmons his first guitar hero. Even into the 2000s and 2010s, Ace kept making music. He released solo albums like Anomaly, 2009, and Space Invader, 2014. His last original studio album was 10,000 Volts, released February 2024, produced by Warren Huart, with Paul Stanley co-writing a couple tracks. He was also working on a covers project called Origins Volume 4 at the time of his passing. Ace remained on tour, age 74, until September 2025, displaying the same fiery style and signature rocket guitar performances that had made him famous. Personal life and interests. Outside of music, Ace Frehley lived a relatively private personal life. He married actress Jeanette Treratola on May 10, 1976, at the height of Kiss fame. Jeanette was an Italian-American model and actress. The couple's only child, a daughter named Monique, was born on July 9, 1980. Ace was a dedicated father to Monique, and the two maintained a very close relationship. Fans often noted how they were almost like best friends, even getting matching ACE tattoos to symbolize their bond. Though Ace and Jeanette later divorced, amid the typical rock and roll pressures of the 1980s, they remained amicable, and Jeanette was by Ace's side in his final days. Ace rarely spoke publicly about having any other long-term relationships after Jeanette, and he was primarily focused on music and family. He had a wide circle of rock friends and collaborators, but few public romances beyond the 1970s, 80s era. Growing up in a musical family also had spiritual influences. Ace revealed in interviews that he was raised Lutheran. His father even taught Sunday school and went to church every Sunday as a boy. As an adult, he joked that like many teens, he drifted away from formal church after puberty, but he always maintained a faith in God. In a 2009 interview, he said, "I was brought up a Lutheran, but I still have a faith in God, and it's got me through some tough times. In fact, in January 2024, Ace posted his New Year's resolutions, which included wanting to get closer to God and practice self-care. This reflected his turn to positivity and faith in his later years. Death. In late September 2025, Ace Frehley suffered a fall at his home studio in New York, which initially seemed minor. He assured fans via social media on September 25th that he was fine, but would be canceling a concert the next day per doctor's orders. Just a few weeks later, on October 6, 2025, Ace announced he was canceling the remainder of his tour, citing ongoing medical issues. Behind the scenes, doctors had discovered a brain bleed caused by the fall. Ace was placed on life support, but his condition remained critical. Tragically, on October 16, 2025, Ace Frehley passed away peacefully at age 74 in Morristown, New Jersey, surrounded by loved ones. At the time of his passing, Ace's net worth was estimated to be around $1 million. Though he spent decades in one of rock's most famous bands, Ace faced financial ups and downs. In 2013, he lost a large home in Yorktown, New York, to foreclosure after missing mortgage payments. He had also previously owned a sprawling 6,400-square-foot mansion in Connecticut, with 5 bedrooms, 7 baths, and an underground recording studio that later became a famous Airbnb. Despite these setbacks, Ace lived comfortably in his later years and remained passionate about music above material wealth. If you enjoyed this in-depth look at Ace Frehley's life and legacy, please hit that like button. Let us know in the comments which Ace Frehley song or moment is your favorite, and be sure to share this video with your rock-loving friends. Don't forget to subscribe for more music documentaries and tell the bell icon to get notified of our next release.